Now, their pet projects is to sever the bond between parents and child, to abolish or violate parental rights, and instead put children as the property of the state rather than the property of the family and the parents. And Biden talked about that last night. So when Biden, the red flag word that you should look for is always free childcare, is always affordable childcare, accessible childcare. Whenever the Democrats or the radical left talk about accessible, affordable childcare, they are talking about taking 3- and 4-year-old babies from parents and putting them in government-run indoctrination centers, these pre-K programs. Kids don't need to go to school at 3 years old. They are not old enough to go to school. These are just daycare centers run by the government. And what is the government's interest here? It's not education for a 3-year-old. It's not simply providing a healthy environment for the child to be away from their parents for a short time. No. The government's interest is to indoctrinate the child in whatever agenda the radical left has. And so when Biden is talking about how we structure our country, make an economy that can support childcare that's affordable for people, I think to myself, why are we not talking about structuring an economy that works for a family so that the father can work and the mother can stay home if she wants to stay home? That supports the idea that if a mother wants to work flexibly, she can also take care of her children. Why are we not talking about structuring an economy that works for a family with just one income? Because that's the best situation for our country. It's the best for the health of the child, for the education of the child, for the development of the child. It's the best poverty protection program, a solid nuclear family. It reduces physical health problems and mental health problems for the married mom and dad and the child. There is no social governmental institution that can compete with the nuclear family. And yet the Biden administration, the radical left, is actively trying to, abolish the nuclear family, as the Black Lives Matter movement claims is one of their goals. They are trying to sever parents from their children. And they're doing this by abolishing parental rights and instead trying to make children as property of the state. This is maybe the most frightening thing that Biden said in the entire speech. Now, maybe it sounded vague. It sounded a euphemism. It wasn't a big part of the speech, but that was the moment in the entire speech that my antenna just went zing, because I was like, this is what they want. They want to take children away from their parents. And Biden also pushed the Equality Act. You heard when he said, get the Equality Act to my desk. The Equality Act allows biological men who identify as women to go into women's locker rooms, women's bathrooms, to play on women's sports teams. The Equality Act actually abolishes biological women. It obliterates biological women in the interest of what? In the interest of radical gender ideology, whose goal is to destroy the nuclear family, to destroy traditional gender and gender roles and relationships and marriage in order to render people dependent on what? The government, not their family. This is the cultural, and now it's morphing into legal battle coming from the radical left.